let's talk about Alex Smith. I didn't put him on my top 4, and whoever I leave off, I understand there's going to be people that are tied to him. And people love Alex Smith. Like, he was just a great dude. And what did
Yeah,
I
he was
do?
a great dude. Great dude. Great story too. Again,
Amazing. Everything about him was great, but
I still
I
don't know
do
why we
not.
went with him though.
Yeah, it was. And so, like, that's rough, right? Because one, everybody wanted Rodgers. Rodgers got to be surefire Hall of Famer, first ballot, all that stuff.
This is not even hindsight, John. This
No,
is not
no, it
hindsight
isn't.
for me. This is not after the fact. I didn't understand why we drafted someone from Utah. Like like it's Utah.
Urban Meyer, man. Which I think I don't have a problem with Alex Smith going in the first round. I don't have a problem with going top 5. I did have a problem with him over somebody that just was freaking awesome. Now I know the off the field stuff with Rodgers definitely irked people the wrong way. And, you've got Alex Smith who returns everybody's shopping cart type of guy. Like, that's just kind of who he is. But let's talk about Alex Smith's time with the Niners only. Come into a terrible team, went 2-5, 7-9, 2-5, injuries, just was bad. Then he missed a whole season. So his first 4 years were just, people want to talk about like Trey Lance and all the stuff he's got through. It was way worse with Alex Smith, but it was a bad team. Came back 5-5, 3-7. So now you're his first 6 years, and he is just not good. Then things took off in 2011. Finally got around a good team. Harbaugh's there. They go 13-3. Then they go 6-2-1. He gets the concussion, loses his job, then gets traded that offseason. And yeah, this guy says, man, Alex, the last year before Cap took over, he was on fire. He was consistent at least. Now, okay, let's
But
look at
he
those.
also got injured. So yeah, his stats were getting there, and then he got hurt, and we all know what happens. It's just part of the game,
You
you
lose.
know.
Listen to his stats though: 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy went 13 touchdowns, 4
4
interceptions.
interceptions. Mm-hmm.
So, like, we're holding his best year with the 49ers. Brock Purdy surpassed that. He surpassed that. He went 6-2-1. Now the team, what was better, 2012 or whatever? I think both were NFC Championship teams. So, take that for what you want. But like, there are no good years here. He never threw for 20 touchdowns or more with the Niners ever in a season. Never.
It wasn't what they asked him to do. It wasn't who he was. He was
Yeah.
in the you know what he was when he started clicking? Efficient.
Yeah, very efficient. And he operated within the system. Look at this, third string all pro. He says, I think if Alex sat for a year or two like Rodgers instead of being thrown into those games, he would have had a better career. Yeah, they were bad teams, man. But like his first year, he had 1 touchdown pass, 11 interceptions. Like,
Dang.
that is, like, people would be, if that happened in today's NFL,
Dang.
good God, that's just so bad. The game before he was hurt, he had 18 of 19, threw 3 touchdowns against the Cardinals. Yeah, and again, I thought that he was awesome. I thought that he was a good quarterback. I never considered him to be great. He got 3 Pro Bowls, none of them with us. He got 2 with Kansas City. No, all 3 were with Kansas City. And so again, what did he leave because of he wanted more money? No, he was kicked out the door. They traded him. I just don't. I have no problem with Alex Smith being last on this list, but I love Alex Smith, and I know that some people are pissed off at me. I've already seen it on Twitter because I didn't even include him. But I'm sorry. Somebody tell me why this guy should be ahead of anybody on this list. I don't see it.
Not at the look. If the not the accolades, but the accomplishments didn't take the team further than some of those guys that are on that list, and I get why he's not on the list. Is he an overall great guy? Yes. Did he
Amazing.
overall play well toward the end of his career with the 49ers? He did. We just talked about his stats. But his best years literally were not in San Francisco. They were in Kansas City. If he made the Pro Bowl 3 times with a team that's not the 49ers, that's why he's not on the list. If he's a Kansas City Chief and you put this guy on the list, that's a different story. But as a 49er, he didn't do what some of these other guys did. It's fair. John, your list is great.
I appreciate that. I need that. I need that because I know I get tied to players too. Like there's guys that, I just love who they are, and I'm such a big fan. Somebody like William Floyd. Was he a heavy impact Niner or no, not at all. I freaking love William Floyd. If
Loved
somebody
him.
says something negative about him, I get pissed. And so this is what's so great about sports, right? Like we fall in love with these players and what they've done for our team and all those things. But yeah, Kali says, give me Garcia over Smith all day. All right, let's go Garcia. Because in the Twitter poll,
yeah,
he got the most votes. He got 45. It's still going. A little over 500 votes. He's got 45% of the vote. So,
I mean, his accolades. I mean, all right. So when I'm looking at Jeff Garcia and what he did, he was impactful for the 49ers. So you got to figure he came in 1999, right? Had 11 TDs, 2,500 yards, 60% completion percentage, and then it just went up. In 2000, bam,
he was
4,000 yards.
He was undrafted.
I don't know. I just see him
He went to San Jose State.
He went to San Jose State, and then 1999.
Yeah, he went
age
drafted.
of 29. That's when he became a Niner.
That.
Crazy, right? And so, like, I'm looking, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I watched this guy play. I know he was impactful, but when you go to that 2000 season and you see that he was the last quarterback of the 49ers to throw over 4,000 yards, it's going to be tough not to have him at the top of this list. Like, you know what I mean?
You remember that 99-yard pass he had? That wasn't with us, but I remember that.
No.
With
Cleveland. Was that with Tampa?
Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah. But you said the last 49ers quarterback to throw for 4,000 or more yards. He's also the last 49ers quarterback to have over 30 touchdowns. And he did it twice.
30, 31, 32, 2000, 2001. God dang. Yeah. I mean, look, and granted, he had some wide receivers to throw to. The team was definitely built a little bit better for him. He was kind of like inheriting that last wave of that team from Steve Young or whatnot. But hey, he performed. He went out there and performed. Was he the best quarterback, third string, or whatever you want to look at it? Was he the best option at the time? Yes. And so when you compare him to the guys that you got on this list, it's going to be tough to surpass it. I don't know if he was the most impactful, but he might have been the best. I don't know how that makes any sense, but it does to me.
He just reminded me of like Rocky. He had that mentality of just like he was small, but man, he went out there 6'1", 200 pounds. He just went out there and just played so damn tough. Some good teams, the 3-time Pro Bowler. 2001 we went 12-4. 2002 we went 10-6. And then, 2003 went 5-8. Then he left and started becoming a journeyman. I don't know. If we look at, he only played for us for 5 years. His record 35-36. So he had a losing record with us. That's not great. Touchdown to interceptions. Now this is awesome. 113 touchdowns, 56 interceptions. 2-to-1 ratio almost to the number. And
yeah.
I'll say this. The teams he played on were not as good as Kaepernick's best or Jimmy's best.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I mean, Cleveland in 2004, the Lions in 2005, Philly in 2006, then Tampa Bay 2007, 2008, and then back to Philly at the age of 39.
But I'm not mad at him for playing for these other teams. Is that weird?
I mean, I don't even know what happened. I can't remember why he was no longer a Niner, because boy, did we go through our fair share of quarterbacks up until, I guess, the end of Alex Smith.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Like, I can't tell you any other. I can tell you who the quarterbacks were, but they had zero impact. Tim
Rattay, baby. Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, like they were trash.
And then Alex Smith.
And then how long was he not good for, though?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Whenever Garcia stepped on the scene, he was good.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can chalk it up, John, to the fact that he had experience from the CFL, making the transition into the NFL. I don't care. At the end of the day, when he put on that San Francisco 49ers uniform, he performed well.
And David says T.O. hated Garcia. That's why he forced himself out. But I'm just going to be honest.
I was going to ask that question.
That's a T.O. problem. That's not a Garcia. T.O. forced himself out of every situation he ever was in and burned every bridge ever. Like, that's a T.O. issue.
He was just a freaking Devo. Like, yeah. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine T.O. during today's media times, social media times? And the way the faithful are, man.
It's different, man. He's different. And so, you know, that, I don't know. I don't even want to go down that road.
But no, because here's the thing. I don't fault him because he was who he was. Yeah. See, we don't know these people upbringings and the shit that they go throughout their life. We just expect them to be the ultimate professionals. And at the end of the day, they're being the best damn professional that they know how to be. I'm not saying it's okay, but at the end of the day, you know what T.O. did, John? He performed.
Oh, he one of the best ever.
That's one of the best ever. You get what I mean? Like, so I don't agree with his antics, but at the end of the day, I mean, what wide receiver? He was coming in on he was that bridge of the last of those type of wide receivers going into today's era, kind of wide receivers.
He was one of the biggest physical freaks ever to play.
And he was fast. God dang.
He was unbelievable, man. And so, like, I see T.O. and I just think amazing plays, long touchdowns, and everybody hated him. Like, every team he was on.
But that was a wide receiver thing. People hated Chris Carter. People hated Michael Irvin. I mean, at least he wasn't doing the booger sugar.
There we go. Well, I don't know about that, but
The 49ers Rush Podcast.